All right, let's dive into something absolutely fascinating today. We're doing an explainer on one of the most mysterious texts of the 20th century. We are going to unearth the hidden, kind of underground origins of the modern self-help movement, tracing the whole thing back to a highly guarded secret from 1912. If you've ever wondered how our ideas shape reality, or where the whole concept of manifestation actually came from, you are definitely in the right place.
Let's kick things off with a question that literally everyone asks at some point. Why do some people achieve success so easily? The source text hooks us right away with this universal mystery. Like, why do a select few just seem to attract wealth and power with almost zero conscious effort, while others work their fingers to the bone and still struggle? Well, the material we're breaking down today argues that the difference isn't physical, and it's not about your circumstances. It's entirely mental. But getting the answer to that profound mystery? Yeah, it did not come cheap. $1,500. That was the literal price tag for a 1912 course containing these answers. To put that into perspective, in today's money, that is an absolute fortune. And the author actually did this on purpose. He restricted access to make sure this knowledge only reached a very specific, elite demographic.
Let's get into Section 1, the 1912 Secret.
Okay, let's dive into this. The text is called The Master Key System by Charles F. Haanel. Now, originally, this wasn't just a book you could grab off the shelf at a local bookstore. It was a strictly controlled 24-week correspondence course. And the rules were rigid. You were supposed to study only one module per week. In fact, the text explicitly warns that if you try to binge read it like a novel, you're going to completely misunderstand it and waste your time entirely.
The sheer level of gatekeeping around this text is just fascinating. Haanel originally mailed these weekly modules out only to the absolute most privileged individuals of his time. He was reportedly a member of several secretive societies, and he operated under the firm belief that profound knowledge simply shouldn't be handed over to people who were, in his words, mentally unprepared to receive it.
Moving on to Section 2. Who exactly was Charles Haanel?
So, Haanel's background shows he was pretty much the ultimate self-made man. He was the son of immigrants, and he spent 15 long years working his way up from a humble office boy at a stamping company. But he definitely didn't stop there. He went on to found multiple companies, eventually rising to the massive role of president of the Continental Commercial Company.
Commentators are quick to point out a really crucial detail about his life. He practiced what he preached. Our sources make it abundantly clear that Haanel was a highly successful businessman long before he ever wrote this course. He built incredibly prosperous Mexican coffee and sugar plantations, and supposedly he applied the exact mental principles he wrote about to amass his own immense, tangible wealth.
Which brings us to Section 3, the Power of Thought.
The text itself directly defines the Master Key System as the study of the creative process of thought and how to apply it. The core philosophy here claims that human thought isn't just some passive thing your brain does, it's an active, cosmic, spiritual power. Haanel argues that absolutely anything you want to become a reality in your physical life must first be literally constructed in your thoughts.
And the claimed benefits of actually mastering this system? They're huge. The course promises total control over your body and health, a drastically strengthened memory, the complete destruction of fear and depression, and the development of a deep, guiding intuition. The text basically guarantees it will replace all your uncertain, confused efforts with really powerful, targeted action so you can overcome any mental limitation.
Section 4. The Laws of the Mind.
So here's the foundational concept for the entire text. Mental laws are as fixed as material laws. Haanel makes the case that the laws governing the mind, specifically the law of cause and effect, operate infallibly. Just like gravity, these laws are working 24/7, whether you are aware of them or not. The catch is, if you unconsciously focus on limitations or lack, the text argues you're actively manufacturing those exact negative conditions in your real life.
And this brilliantly illustrates how commentators frame Haanel's work. To bridge this gap between mysticism and hard science, the book's introduction actually leverages a really famous quote from Albert Einstein. "Science without religion is lame. Religion without science is blind." Modern commentators use this to show that Haanel's work was attempting this necessary blend of scientific pragmatism and cosmic spirituality.
The source analysis also pulls in another profound thought from Einstein. A human being experiences himself in a kind of optical illusion of his consciousness. The text uses this concept to really highlight Haanel's overarching mission. The whole goal of the Master Key is to help the reader break free from this optical illusion of isolation, basically expanding their awareness so they can literally master their reality.
Now for Section 5, the Legacy of the Key.
The ripple effect this course had over the last century is just wild. It was created in 1912 for a highly exclusive group. But by 1919, Napoleon Hill, who, would eventually become a global giant in the self-help world, wrote a letter crediting the Master Key Principles for his own success. Then comes the real paradox. By 1933, this incredibly secretive course had sold over 200,000 copies, right before it was officially banned by the church for challenging orthodox religious views.
There's also this really persistent, fascinating rumor surrounding the text. Commentators point out a popular legend that a young Bill Gates actually read this exact book while studying at Harvard, and that its principles inspired him to drop out and found Microsoft. Now, whether that's a verified fact or just a powerful myth, it perfectly demonstrates the enduring, life-changing mystique that people still attribute to Habian's writing.
Today, Hanel is largely considered a foundational pillar of modern New Thought. Rhonda Byrne actually cites Hanel directly in her global phenomenon, The Secret. So what started as this hidden, wildly expensive correspondence course sent out through the mail completely transformed over a century, effectively birthing the massive modern self-help and manifestation industry that we see today.
Which leaves us with a pretty provocative challenge derived right from Hanel's core premise. What reality are you consciously creating with your thoughts right now? Because if mental laws are truly as fixed as gravity, it kind of forces us to examine our own mental creations every single day. Thank you so much for exploring this incredible piece of history with me. Keep questioning, keep learning, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.